Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is August the 26th, 2020. Strong hand, long-term thinking, buy and hold. Don't scam yourself. Buying over crying, personal responsibility is new counterculture. We'll talk about all those three of those topics. Five-digit realm, value your wealth in Bitcoin. I am offended by selling. Don't FOMO on altcoins, even if some Bitcoin guy is promoting it, I guess. Is that what we're going to talk about? Is everyone going to be a yenta today? Yeah, it's time to crypto yenta it up a little bit. But we'll get a good lesson out of it. Hello, my elite friends. I know you're not yentas. You're here for the information, the insider information. Remember, if you have questions, I have answers. You guys are all unique beasts, yes. And just type in BitcoinMeister, or you can do a super chat, get my attention. And someone asked about the, was that a serious question, Jay Parr? I will answer it if that was a serious question, what you said before the show started. But I don't know if you were really serious about that. So tell me in the, get my attention, tell me if you're serious. This is my 1,800th show, 1,800 shows on disruptmeister.com now. So check out disruptmeister.com for the archives. I've been doing this for some time. You can learn a lot. I think I'm glad I've chronicled all this. Now, you definitely, you can get the history of frickin' Bitcoin on here, baby. Pound that like button, and you can see what the very definition of conviction is. All these shows. I keep on going. I'm like the Energizer Bunny, baby. And yeah, so on Twitter, I'm TechBalt, TechBalt. Let's start with some hyperbole, okay? I mean, this ended up being hyperbole. I don't know what he meant it to be here. Bitstein, you got to be careful of stuff like this. He says, the monetization of Bitcoin is arguably the most important event in human history. And we get to experience it. Amazing. Okay, he's saying that the monetization of Bitcoin is the most important event in human history. You know, I think the growth of Bitcoin, the wealth that will be created through the strong hands saving. Hang on. Is there an audio issue on my end? Is anyone else having a problem with the audio here? Give me a confirmation of audio real quick, guys. Real quick. All right. Now, so if someone's having a problem with, it's not me with the audio issue here. Now, what was I saying? Yeah, so I think the wealth created through Bitcoin, through saving, through being a long-term thinker, it's going to allow Bitcoiners to be involved with some of the most important events in human history. Life extension, space travel, colonization of faraway places in the solar system and beyond. Those events are more important than Bitcoin. Okay, now Bitcoin can lead to those events happening, but life extension technology, true life extension technology, that's like when you say one of the most important events in human history. There you go. I don't think there's an argument about that. If people can all of a sudden live to be 200 instead of 85, that's bigger than Bitcoin. I got to tell you the truth, guys. This just shows. I mean, you can get carried away with the Bitcoin hyperbole, and Bitcoin's huge, and it will allow people to get the wealth to get into those life-changing, life-altering, human history-altering projects. Okay, so don't go too wild. And hey, it's great to be a fan. It's great to get excited about Bitcoin. It really is great. But sometimes you got to just understand that some of this is hyperbole, even if they didn't mean it that way. All right. Audio is fine. Very good, dudes. And Jay Parr. All right. Jay Parr did not. Okay, so I guess it wasn't a serious question. And yeah. Now, next topic. We're getting closer to the Yenta INX stuff. Oh, how did this become a topic? Remember, people, retweet this right now. Spread the word. I just gave you a link to retweet it. I can do two things at once here. Unbelievable. Now, next thing, complexity worship. Before we get to the yentas, INX drama. Before we get there, Where I just lost my place. Sorry. This is from Arjun, who's been on the show. He works out in San Francisco, Silicon Valley area. I've talked about how people over there have a different look, different take on DeFi and Ethereum. So I'm going to give you some DeFi buzzword complexity worship type of talk here, and I'll break it down. This is what Arjun said in a tweet, and it's linked to below. Everything I talk about is linked to below, so you can see these references are legit. As DeFi on Ethereum matures, developer shelling points have begun emerging around contracts like Compound's governance module and Synthetic's Minter contract. This lowers the barrier to implement staking or governance and to support new projects similar to the ERC20 standard. Now, did anyone understand what I just said at all? No, seriously, did you? You have to read that quite a few times and know about this space to really get a taste of what he means there, okay? Now, there are plenty of people, they hear that and they read that and they're like, I'm not going to take the time to understand that. That is filled with so much jargon and buzzwords. Clearly, this Ethereum thing is going to be huge. Clearly, this DeFi thing is going to be huge. This is Silicon Valley. This is the new of the new, the innovation of the innovation. This, what Arjun just put out there that I don't even understand. So it's tweets like this, and he works it for a company that has portfolios, this, that, and the other. So they got to complicate matters. But this is where the big boys play. So get used to this. I like to keep it simple with Bitcoin. It's a newfangled savings account. But there are so many people out there, smart people, people who want to think they're smart, people who want to think they're on the technical cutting edge, and people who want to be involved with the Silicon Valley latest, hottest thing. And it all gets mishmashed in there. And so they talk with mishmash words, buzzwords, and they just worship the complexity right there. Everything that he just said. Is he doing that because he's a bad dude? No, he's living it. He understood what he said. But in the end of the day, what the heck is all that going to bring you there? There's going to be a lot of speculation into the Ethereum and the DeFi. It really should have a simpler explanation than that. It really should. If it was better than Bitcoin, you could explain it like Bitcoin, a newfangled savings account. But it appears that you got to put in all these magical mystery words. And hey, to each his own. Some of you love that stuff, and I just wanted to read you out a statement. You're going to see more and more of those. So don't feel bad that you don't understand that the first time you hear it or the fifth time you read it. That's the way of the world. And some people are hoping that you don't, and you just buy it blindly and make yourself feel real smart. Pound that like button. Let me tell you how you feel smart, okay? You just buy it. You don't need that whole complexity worship process. I mean, some people do, but you really shouldn't. You should understand what you're freaking buying, okay? So play this at 2x, people. If you're watching this taped, you can understand me at 2x or 1.75. It saves so much time. I watch all videos at 2x or 1.75x if they've got a really thick accent. Now, or if it's later in the night. I guess my brain gets a little tired after a 2 a.m. Now, so let's talk about Ethereum and this INX thing, okay? So there are these guys out there in the space, Jameson Lopp and Fluffy Pony, Whale Panda especially, and Charlie Lee. I'm forgetting some names. Okay, they're big fans of Bitcoin. Now, of course, some of those names have been fans of altcoins before too. Obviously, Charlie and Fluffy Pony, but they can be pretty vicious. Some of these dudes in their Twitter personas can be vicious and very orthodox when it comes to Bitcoin or the highway. Okay, well, and to take it to another level here, they all have something in common, and at times all of these guys have really ripped on Ethereum, I believe. And let's go to and your Fluffy Ponies. He's ripped on Dash as being a scam. What's a scam? This is a scam. That's a scam. The abuse of the word scam by all of these dudes. I don't know about Lopp, But by those dudes, they abuse the word scam. They really do. BitConnect was a scam, okay? OneCoin was a scam. Ethereum is not a scam. Now, Whale Panda in his persona, he can be very obnoxious on Twitter, and it's a lot of what he spouts out can be garbage and crypto noise, but there is some you can learn from Whale Panda also. I mean, this is the way when I tell you guys about who to check out on crypto Twitter, Bitcoin Twitter, I say, there's going to be some trash sometime. There's going to be some yenta stuff, okay, some gossip. But there's going to be hardcore stuff too. But Whale Panda, of all these people, he's engaged in the attacks on Ethereum, okay, and on pushing it toward this corner where some people like to say it's a scam. Now, Tone has done that too. But one thing with Tone, does he buy Ethereum? Does he get involved with projects that deal with Ethereum? Does he change his mind about Ethereum? When people he's friends with, associated with, some of those guys he personally knows, when they get involved with something like this, INX, which is a token on Ethereum, does he change his mind? No, he didn't. You can watch the video of Jimmy Song and Tonebase talking about this. It's like in the first 10 minutes or so. It's linked to below. They explain what this INX thing is. It's a way to IPO without IPOing, okay? And they're doing it on the Ethereum blockchain, and it'll get SEC approval. And hey, they're starting an exchange or something, and this is the way they're going to do it. It's quite an innovation. It's quite an innovation. If you want to start an exchange and follow SEC rules and allow accredited investors to buy and be able to IPO they're revolutionizing what an IPO is. Great, compete, don't complain. That's awesome that they're doing that. I mean, that's not something I would do. I would never buy such a project. I mean, it's very highly speculative. I only buy Bitcoin. But when it boils down to it, some of these guys talk a really big game against Ethereum, and now they're using it. And so it's hypocritical. It's hypocritical against what their personas were online. Okay, so that's it. I mean, that's it. They were some of them were hypocrites in what they said. Should you go crazy about it? Should you worry about it? Should you say, "Oh, I lost all respect for these dudes. I had them on pedestals. I worship them"? No, you shouldn't have put them on pedestals anyway. People, they're making money now. Have they vilified other people's ways of making money before? Yes, they have. They're legitimately making money. Ethereum, they have proven that Ethereum is not a scam, because what they're doing is it's a use case for Ethereum. If you want to follow SEC rules and have an IPO without having an IPO and have accredited investors throw money at you, this is what you do. It's a real, and you make a token called INX, and you get it and you sell it. And then, so it's not, Ethereum is not a scam. Ethereum is nowhere close to a scam. Ethereum is something these men are using to become wealthy. Congratulations to them. So Ethereum is the next Ethereum. I'm into production. I'm not into destruction. Have some of these guys talked about destruction of altcoins and this? I think they have. I'm not going to lump them all together here again. Each one has a varying degree of what they scream about as a scam or what isn't a scam. And, and so there's this. So out here in the world today, Tone and Jimmy, you got to they gave it legitimate criticism. They put their faces out there. I'm explaining it in my way. I'm giving it legitimate criticism in terms of their personalities. I mean, what they were trying to convey to the general public beforehand, especially Whale Panda, is not exactly what is being done behind the scenes. But they can change their minds about things. There's nothing. I mean, you can change your mind in life, all right? But and Alan Silbert has something to do with this. But there's an old boys network in cryptocurrency, even though it hasn't been around that long. There clearly is an old boys network, because when some people do something, a bunch of people get in a herd and they form something called the Bitcoin Inquisition, and they try to cancel that person. They try to destroy that person. But when you're in the old boys network and you do something that some people would send to the Bitcoin Inquisition, it's all right. So now Udi is a guy I know in Israel, a great guy, a person who really dislikes Ethereum. I mean, I think you could say that he's definitely sent people to the Inquisition in his own way. He gives excuses for these guys. He gives it, and so this is and Udi's a great guy and everything. But I'm just pointing it out. I'm pointing it out. You could take the Tone Vays approach to it, or you can be like, well, these guys are my friends. I don't want to rip on them. Now Tone Vays, they're his friends, but he still ripped on them. Yeah. So there are. Now you're hearing about this INX thing. A lot of people are up in arms, just screaming, "It's a scam! It's a scam! It's a scam!" Okay, dudes. No, it's not a scam. It's a thing. This is the way they're funding their project, whatever. But it's hypocritical of what they used to say. But you don't have some of the big names out there that love to send people to the Bitcoin Inquisition. They just get such pleasure out of doing it. They don't do it with their buddies because it's an old boys network. Now, this is the thing about the Bitcoin, okay? Cool, there's an old boys network, and you're probably not part of it. That's life. You can still do just as well as them. It was, I think, in the mainstream world today, people go crazy. Like, why is there an old boys network that prevent certain people from joining certain colleges and certain this, that, and the other? And they cry and they scream and they this and they that, and they so want to be part of that old boys network. Start your own network. Start your own thing. It reminds me of even my own people in the 50s and stuff. They didn't like being excluded from the country clubs of the Gentiles, the Gentile country clubs, okay? And so some of them cried and screamed and had protests, but some of them started their own country clubs and their own swim clubs and stuff. And you just deal with it, okay? There's old boys networks. That's great. Deal with it, all right? So wanted to point that out there. But I mean, anyway, there's some people. I'm just giving you the lay of the land out there. This is where the big boys play. Deal with the old boys networks. Deal with that people are going to change their minds. Deal with that, just deal with that Ethereum's not a scam and that people overuse that word scam quite a bit. And I think this is the ultimate example of that right now. So you can read the article and for all the people out there that are like, it's wrong that they want to make money. It's not wrong that they want to make it. Trying to produce is great. It's awesome. It's the people who discourage people from producing that's bad. And those dudes have discouraged people from producing, okay? They have used words to discourage people from producing. So I am only here to encourage everybody to compete, not to complain, to produce, not to destroy. There's always an option. You can always outmaneuver an old boy network, okay, if you're creative and you're in motion and you're a freaking unique beast. So, and just don't get caught in this drama, this soap opera, this yenta stuff. Don't waste too much time on it. And of course, just, buy Bitcoin and pound that like button right here and now. All right. So that's enough of that. Remember, this week in Bitcoin, we had Boris, Guy, and Tommy on. This Friday, of course, there'll be another This Week in Bitcoin. I don't know who's going to be on exactly yet. I'm working on some things behind the scenes. And I'm just seeing if anyone had questions. Again, if you got to type in BitcoinMeister, I'm not going to be able to see it, or you do a super chat. All right. So this has been a lot of fun here today. All right. Now, and calling names, the whole calling, you're a scammer. It's so childish. It's not productive at all. And maybe if you get angry once, you can a few names you throw out there, but the constantly doing it is just, I mean, you're adding garbage, you're adding crypto noise. But hey, this is where the big boys play. You're welcome to add crypto noise. You're welcome to do anything. I mean, if you have a true strong hand and long-term thinking, you don't let this noise distract you, and you stay on target. You stay with your system, your Bitcoin system, and that's it. And Fidelity Investments. So here we go. We're talking about accredited investors, all this stuff. Fidelity Investments has filed for a new Bitcoin index fund, according to SEC documents. Fidelity has been a consistent Bitcoin watcher with investments around the globe. The new fund would allow unlimited investments for accredited investors. All right. So is this exactly Fidelity doing this new fund? Okay. Or is it a guy? Is it a spin-off of Fidelity? I don't know the exact bureaucracy behind it, the exact specifics. What I do know is this. They're complicating, they're financializing Bitcoin. A Bitcoin index fund is not Bitcoin. But there are all these people that are accredited investors. They feel like, they're special. their whole lives, this is the way they've been, or their whole financial lives, this is what they invest in, and you have to be approved, and they need the seal of approval of the government to tell me that, hey, this is an accredited investor type of material. Now I can get into Bitcoin. So cool. Compete, don't complain. If you want to create products that aren't really Bitcoin, that are for wealthy people, great. I think that's great for Bitcoin. And it'll get more people knowledgeable about Bitcoin. Now, Fidelity is a big name. Obviously, I'm glad they're getting deeper and deeper into it. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a subsidiary of theirs, or just I don't know. Again, I'm not going to get into the entire bureaucracy behind it. But just because you got a big name out there doesn't mean you don't have to diversify this. You're like, I just own boring Bitcoin. I should own the fake Bitcoin too, the GBTC Bitcoin, the Fidelity Bitcoin. No. Don't diversify for the sake of diversification. Okay, they're all built around that base layer of Bitcoin. That's the underlying asset. You don't need a middleman. You don't need to complicate things. Like this whole show has been about complicating things. Whether it been Arjun complicating what DeFi is, whether it be the fluffy pony dudes complicating the way to raise funds and to get wealthy, and now this just complicating owning Bitcoin. Just keep it simple. Get rid of your middleman. That's what Bitcoin was. It was created for. You get the real thing. Okay. It's not fancy. It's just math. It's 21 million. And here we got a comment from Xiong Nguyen, who I guess is in Vietnam, or maybe Vietnamese. It sounds like a Vietnamese name. Hello, Meister. How much Bitcoin you have to own in 2024 to be the top 1%? Well, why don't we go back to my video? I'm going to say I gave that answer in a 2015 video that says you will be elite if you own 10 Bitcoin. If you buy 10 Bitcoin now, you will be elite. So I'm going to say this. In terms of Bitcoin holders, you'll be in the top. You'll be in a very, very good shape if you own 10 Bitcoin. Then remember, the first goal is to get to 1 Bitcoin. In terms of being a 1%er in the United States, in terms of overall wealth, you might want to, you see that you would have to be worth over $10 million at that point. So there's a question for you. All right, here's if you really want to be a 1%er in terms of all Americans, in terms of the wealth they own, how many Bitcoin do you need to have $10 million worth of Bitcoin in 2024? That's up to you to decide. Okay, that's up to you to decide. Now, I've made that decision for myself personally, and I'm pretty confident that my decision was correct, to say the least. Anyway, so again, just shoot to get that one first, but refer to my other video if you want to be elite among Bitcoin holders. I mean, there's so of all the individuals that are involved in the Bitcoin space, the individuals that are involved in there are the entities. I forgot what the numbers are. What percent of people of entities actually own 10 or more Bitcoin? It's very few. I mean, I don't think it's one. I've done shows on this in the past, so hey, I just say I hope people were watching in 2015. There are plenty of guys that were watching in 2015 that did aim to get that 10 Bitcoin. All right, but very, very good question. Very, very good question indeed. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. Now, Top Roller says 10 Bitcoin is top 1.5%. What in terms of in the Bitcoin community, among all Bitcoin entities out there? I forgot that, look at there's so many old videos of mine out there where we covered this. I think Glassnodes had the chart that explained all this. Dude, if you got 10 Bitcoin, you're in mighty good shape. Okay, and if you could hold on to it to like 2024, 2028, yeah, dude, you're fine. Now, we talked about Fidelity, and finally, 5-digit realm, people. We're in the 5-digit realm. You freaks out there who worry about it. Now, and let's continue that 5-digit realm streak. Let's get it to 63. Is that the number that we need to get it to break watch yesterday's show? That's what it was about. SEC's new accredited investor rules have changed. So they've made it easier to be an accredited investor. Now, I don't care about this. I don't care at all. Okay? What the government defines as that'll give me permission. So now I could buy the next Facebook pre-IPO. why don't you, again, we talked about my videos from 2015. Go back to my video when I was in New Zealand. I believe it had just turned 2016. And I said that buying Bitcoin is like getting in on a Facebook pre-IPO. We don't need permission to be defined as accredited investors. We don't need to be tempted to get into those things, to be tempted to be like, oh, wow, now I can get into this company's pre-IPO thing. There's no guarantee that that's the next tech company that has a pre-IPO that accredited investors can buy into, that'll be helpful. Bitcoin is the version of that for every person on this freaking planet. Okay? It is comparable. Getting into Bitcoin is comparable to getting in on a pre-IPO, especially when I made that video back then. And I'm quite glad that I got in on that quote unquote pre-IPO, which was buying Bitcoin back then over and over again. And then in 2016, more than that. So, a lot of people are saying, oh, this is great news, the SEC. I think it's going to tempt some wealthier Bitcoiners to diversify into the sake of diversification. Now, the way they ease the rules, I don't know if it even makes that big of a difference. Okay, I don't give a darn about it. I really don't give a darn about it. I think that if it tempts people that were going to buy Bitcoin, but now think they should buy into these pre-IPO type of things and financial instruments that you can't buy into unless you're accredited investor. I don't know. Don't go down that path. Don't go. Bitcoin is the best money out there. Bitcoin is the best over the long term. Is the best out there. So why do you need to even get into those accredited investor products? Okay, that is the end of the show. Let me just again. I'm seeing if there are any other questions. No, they're not. Oh, I forgot to say tomorrow is going to be the question and answer show. Ask me anything. So we're gonna experiment and try to make Thursdays the Ask Me Anything shows. So have your topics ready, do some thinking. I'll probably do it right after Brian, the UK BitcoinMeister, finishes his show. Maybe it'll be like a double header or something like that. So thanks a lot, guys. Remember, you get a new show here every day. We're trying something new tomorrow. A Thursday will become the question and answer day forever and ever. Well, not forever and ever, for the foreseeable future. And thanks a lot for the support in the super chat and the chat today. Retweet it, TechBalt, follow me. It's this BitcoinMeister ecosystem. It's not just about the videos. I tweet out all sorts of things, and it'll help keep your hands strong. I'm the BitcoinMeister, Disrupt Meister. Bang the bell button, even though that probably even does nothing anymore with YouTube the way they do things. Bye. Thanks.